I run a YouTube channel with over 400,000 subscribers, and it blew up to making over 5 figures a month at age 15. However, as the years on, it plummeted really badly. And at my lowest point, it's actually really embarrassing for me to show you guys this. I had a month where the channel literally made less than $200, and that's Australian, by the way. In US, that's probably like $130. However, since that point, I'm now back up to making thousands per month, once I figured out a formula that blew my channel from being at its lowest point back up to where it is now. So today I'm going to go over exactly how I did it and how you can take a channel that's barely getting any views and blow it up to getting thousands of dollars per month. So why should you trust me? Well, my name's Ricky, I'm 20 years old, and I've been running faceless commentary channels for over 7 years now since I was 13, and I've had months as a teenager at ages 15 to 16 where I was making over 5 figures a month on a consistent basis. And now across all my channels I'm doing close to 5 figures a month. I graduated high school over a year ago and I'm doing this as a full-time job now. I don't have a regular job or go to university, I literally just do YouTube. I get to wake up every single day and pursue my passion of actually just creating content. Today I'm gonna be a little bit more vulnerable and go over a very dark period of my life, which was actually very recently, where I went from being pretty much on top of the world at age 16 back to the very bottom where, you know, I was barely scraping by, and then explain how I dragged myself out of that pit at age 18 to 19 back to where I am now at age 20, which is making a very decent income again. And now I barely have any problems with money, I don't really have any problems with having a low income, you know, I'm pretty much doing what I love now, and having little to no worries about how much money I'm making. So let's begin by going into my analytics. So essentially this bit before we start off is for those that don't really know what this is. So this channel is called Glider Guy. I made this when I was 13, like I said before. As you can see, I started off by posting like really crap Fortnite, just meme videos, just like a bunch of different stuff, trying to do like 8 different niches at once that really weren't like coinciding with each other. I started off doing a Fortnite video, then I moved to like a cringe compilation, back to like a 3M cringe challenge reaction, another Fortnite video, another cringe compilation, just kind of going all over the place, which by the way is the first very big mistake I see a lot of channels do, and it's probably a mistake that you're doing right now if we're being totally honest here. So look, before we actually look at the come up and how, you know, I went tumbling down and then went back up again, just a little bit of advice for you who's probably like a teenager watching this video right now. The absolute best thing I can tell you to like, you know, stop this 2-year hole that I was in when I first started making videos where I was getting like 40 to 50 views per video, having no idea how to blow up, is just pick one niche and stick to it. Like bro, switching between niches and doing a whole bunch of different things is gonna do nothing but mess up your audience pool, and it's not gonna help you in the long run. But anyways, I've got more videos explaining like my come up in more detail, but essentially I moved into more like commentary stuff. Pretty much I was doing gameplay commentary videos and I was being very consistent at that, and that's where things really started to take off. I was getting around 100 views a video for a while until eventually I made a video on, where is it? I made a video on that vegan teacher, and then all these videos that I made before that with this vegan teacher video started to blow up. Then I started making videos related to that, you know, on similar topics. We got KSI, the Unicorn family was a big thing at the time, Bryce Hall, Zoe Laverne, Keemstar, Deji, just like a whole bunch of internet people. Nikocado Avocado was a big one. I just had this pool of people that I was talking about, and essentially these videos started to get 100k per video, and this was all at age 15, and I had a month where I literally made more than my teachers. Like I was making 5 figures a month and it was absolutely incredible. So this was a huge thing for me, and at the time, as you can see, I had a really consistent branding. And this is another thing I can tell you guys, is that when you're starting off, if you can find a consistent thumbnail formula, it's gonna go so much further than you trying to like blow a video up and then, you know, trying to like switch niches, do different things. It's so much better if you stick to one niche, consistently post, and have a consistent thumbnail branding style, rather than doing one video in one niche and then trying to do another niche and messing up your audience pool. My audience pool at this point was so tight knit and so consistent that pretty much no matter what I posted, it was always gonna get views. And you know what? For a few months at age 15, surprisingly, I don't know how, but I actually managed to maintain this for a very long time. Pretty much just doing the same thing for a very long time. As you can see, I did a few more vegan teacher videos. They were really popular. And then I did a few videos about, you know, Twitter situations where people would get cancelled in like the Dream SMP space, like Dream's face reveal. Threw a couple of Morgs videos in there to keep things fresh. And really, I think this was probably like the absolute peak when I was 15, where pretty much no matter what I talked about, it started to get like 100k per video. Obviously, some dipped below because I was 15 and I still had so much more to learn. Obviously, YouTube isn't perfect, like some videos aren't going to do incredibly well, but we get to a point around here where I think things started to slowly dwindle down. So at this point, I was getting about 4 to 5 million views a month, which in YouTube AdSense is a whole lot of money. Easily 5 figures a month, like with absolutely no stress at all. Like it really wasn't, these videos weren't hard to produce. I did have a part-time job at the time, but even then, like I was still able to relatively comfortably get these videos out. And I think around here, as you can see, like a lot of these thumbnails in this sort of section here are very, very consistent, very good. But for some reason, and this is the mistake that I made, this is the first thing that really started to solidify, I guess, the downfall in a sense, or the fall off as people call it now, is I started to change up what I was doing, but then I wasn't keeping it consistent. As you can see, a couple of these videos here, you know, a lot of these videos up here always include a face with like a white outline and then a bit of content on the right. I could have kept doing that, and realistically, I could have pushed this to 5, 6, 7 million views a month and saved me so much money and so much time. But instead, what I decided to do, and you guys can see is where this sort of started to fall off, is I completely flipped this thumbnail style a couple of times. I did a video here where it was just like one bit of content with no white outline. There was no face in the thumbnail, and like these videos did well. But as you can see, once you do that a couple of times, your audience starts to, like, I guess, get alienated. Your core audience, which you built up for so long, really just gets alienated when you start, you know, messing around with things, toying with things. A lot of the times with YouTube, it's just a simple case of, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And that's what I tried to do here. I tried to fix something that wasn't broken. You know, this thumbnail right here is just absolutely nowhere near what I was doing beforehand with these, like, you know, the face on the left and the content on the right. Like, it's just a random thumbnail of the Twitter logo. Like, why did I do that? And yeah, as you can see here, I went from an easy 100k views a video, and I'm still getting a couple of videos that get 100k, but essentially things are starting to slow down. Some videos are getting 20k, some videos are getting, you know, like 18k. It was really starting to go downhill a little bit, and it was really all my fault. But the thing is, at this time, and you know, a lot of people, I can give you guys a bit of advice, so then you don't go through the same mindset that got me stuck in this little like downfall bit for a while, is that you constantly blame YouTube for this. I was sitting there thinking that I was shadow banned. I was sitting there thinking that, oh, YouTube just hates me. The thing you gotta understand, and especially if you've been up and then you start to fall off, is that, you know, you think it's all YouTube's fault. The thing is, and it's a hard, brutal reality that you gotta accept, is that it's not YouTube's fault. It's your fault. And in this case, it was my fault. It's easy in hindsight to sit here and say, you know, the reason I started to fall off is because all these thumbnails are really consistent, and then I just started switching up and making things too simple, and, you know, like I wasn't being consistent. But the reality is, back in the day, I sat here and I had absolutely no idea why these videos were going from 100k down to like 20k, 50k, 30k, like the average was going down. And the thing is, when you're a 16-year-old and you go from making, you know, 15, 17k a month to like your monthly views going down to essentially a million, which is what it was down here, and now all of a sudden I'm making like 5 to 4k a month, which is still really good for my age, and I'm not saying that that's bad in any way, but it really messes with your head, and it really messed with my head for a very long time. And it's only up until recently where I really sort of had the realization that I can fix this. That this isn't something that's out of my control. This isn't a YouTube problem where YouTube just doesn't like me or something like that. This is something that I can absolutely fix. I just need to actually lock in and just figure it out. And as you can see, I tried to fix this, and you know, some videos did well. Like, I did some really clickbait stuff that ended up doing well, 300k, 400k, all this sort of stuff. I milked the vegan teacher a little bit more, but realistically, this was a slow, painful, dreadful process of everything starting to go downhill. And as you can see, videos started to get consistently under 20k, you know, 20k, 20k. We got a 10k video here. This was probably at the lowest point, and it starts to get even lower. And then I had to resort to some really clickbait tactics because I just wasn't establishing a good enough brand. And eventually we start to go down a little bit to a point where, like, I was really down bad. Like, I went from my peak being about 4 to 5 million views a month, and then I started to go down to under 1 million views a month. And I can literally show you in real time here how my revenue was affected by just my stupid decisions. Essentially, 2021 was pretty good, but like, as you can see, February 2021 was like the big month here. And then when I started being inconsistent, that started to go down to like 3k a month, and then it went back up a little bit, but then back down to 5, you know, 7, whatever, which again is really good. But like, when you've been making such a high amount for so long at like literally a year ago, you feel like you're just going backwards, and that's exactly what it was for a while. But then I had an epiphany around this sort of point here. Pretty much I had this video get 12k views, and I was literally just like, alright, I'm clearly going nowhere with this. At that time, I still didn't understand that the reason my videos weren't doing well was because my packaging was inconsistent and people like didn't know what to click on. Normally the best way to retain viewers is to just have something consistent to where when someone looks at your thumbnail, they instantly know it's you, and they instantly know, okay, I had a good experience on this guy's last video, I can click on this video and I know it's going to be good. But for me, I didn't establish that because I was constantly constantly switching around, adding text, adding arrows, adding like this little text box, and then not doing it in the next video. It's just that sort of thing that really hurts a lot. It really hurts longevity on your channel. And so what I did was, at this point, I made a really big decision, and luckily this kind of worked out for me, but it also didn't, which I'll explain in a second. But essentially, I made a huge switch up, and this could have gone really pear-shaped. This could have literally like killed my entire career. But what I did is I switched from this like 1 to 2 days commentary style videos, and I made a huge flip, and I like pretty much just made a gamble. I started making weekly videos about undercover like topics. So essentially, instead of talking about topics on the internet, making reaction videos, I would literally make an account for a certain like niche or topic, and then like go undercover and try to troll around on different websites. So I started off with Twitter, and this got 200k. This did extremely well. And then as you can see, this next video, which really carried me for a very long time, was me going into a vegan Discord server and getting banned. I spent a week straight making this video. It was no ordinary commentary video. I went into like this huge vegan Discord server with 20,000 followers with one of my mates who I worked with, like one of my colleagues, and we literally produced like the best video I've ever seen in my life. I've actually done a full in-depth breakdown of this video because of how good it was for its time and how good like it can still be applied to this day. All the lessons I teach in that video. But essentially 23 minutes, 4 million views. Like you don't want to know how much money this video made. It was absolutely unreal. And I also then replicated that for a few other videos. I had another couple videos get 1 million views, and I was averaging, you know, 300, 400k views, like extremely good. And keep in mind, this is all at age 16, so like this wasn't really that far apart. I had a really big blow up with the original commentary stuff at age 15, which, you know, was making 5 figures a month. And then this stuff right here, which also did extremely well. And as you guys can see here, literally a year later, after October 2020, when I had my huge commentary blow up, I then had an even bigger record month in October of 2021, which was, as you can see here, like 17k, which is absolutely unbelievable for a 16-year-old. I'm not even trying to big myself up here. Like, I'm literally just telling you the cold, hard, honest truth. This is the sort of stuff that can happen. But what I didn't realize, and what I wasn't planning for, was the future. Like, I was sitting here making these undercover videos, but then, you know, I did a few of these undercover videos. Eventually, after about 7 or 8, like, you kind of get to a point where the sun comes up the next day, and, you know, you gotta innovate. Like 3 years later, you gotta innovate. You gotta sit here and make more videos. And then I tried to make some more, and then undoubtedly, because I didn't really have anything to these undercover videos, because it was such a niche topic that I couldn't really expand on, these videos just completely died after that. You know, I had one with 20k, some of them still were getting decent views here, and then I had another with 200k, 100k, or whatever, but like, it was no 400k like I was getting in October. So essentially, going into 2022, I kind of just like fell off the face of the earth for a little bit. I just had no idea what to make, and then I came back with this like dream merch video, which absolutely tanked, and then for a while, I was kind of just like, I have no idea what to post. I have zero ideas, I've rinsed all the undercover stuff, and I don't know what to pivot from here. And the reason for that is because I was 16, I didn't know how to creatively make videos. Like, sure, I was good at making content by that point, but the thing that had blown me up, which was commentary videos, like, it was hard to switch back to, especially after just like alienating my entire commentary audience and just switching completely over to this undercover thing. So in the short term, like, obviously, like, this undercover section or era of my YouTube journey, it really did get me a lot of money, and it really did, you know, grow my channel a lot. But the thing is like I said, it alienated my original commentary audience, which for a lot of reasons is gonna hurt in the long run. So what I did after that is I pivoted again. So I pivoted back to the commentary stuff because I had no idea where to take this undercover idea. As you can see, a lot of these videos are just like pulling not many views at all. Obviously, to this day, you know, it's been 2 years, so some of them start to do well again. But essentially, like, we're going borderline under 10k views a video here. And this was a really bad point. This is at a point in 2022 where my expenses started to go up. Like, I was 17 years old now. I'm almost an adult. I'm coming into VCE. Like, I'm about to finish high school. So, like, things are starting to get to a point where I'm not really making much money at all. Like, I guess I'm making 4k a month or whatever. And then there was a couple of months where things started to go back up again. Like, I had a few videos that started to do well. A few videos get 100k, which kind of pushed me up a little bit, up to this, like, near 10k a month. But then, as you can see here, immediately after this, I don't really know what happened. Like, I think it was like a sort of mindset shift. I was just going through a lot of the time, and mixed in with the fact that I didn't really know which direction to take the channel in, I literally went from like a good 10k month, and I was starting to see good results again, to just straight back down, and just absolutely like diminishing everything. Pretty much I'd stopped uploading for a very long time, but also like I was uploading a couple of videos, but it was really like 2-3 videos a month, and they were just like really crap commentary videos. And as you can see here, I'm making under $1,000 a month. And then as we go into 2023, I turned 18, and this is where, you know, I I guess I was making a lot of progress in real life. At 16, I was like a complete loser, I'll be honest with you. Like, as much as I was making a lot of money, I really wasn't doing anything like outside. I spent so much time inside just like forcing myself to make videos, and I really wasn't taking care of my health. So around this point, I started to take care of my health, and I just stopped uploading content, which was pretty stupid. But essentially, as you can see here, this is when things like really start to go downhill, and I just started to barely make any money. I was just barely posting. I kind of just stopped caring about YouTube, in all honesty. So you might be wondering, how do we get to a point where eventually, you know, as you can see, we start to pick things back up again to where I am today, which is in a very good spot, and I've got multiple channels now. So as you can see, just as a preface, like, you know, we can see we're back up to like 3, 4, 5k a month. But I also have other channels that are also making 3, 4, 5k a month, so overall, I'm doing pretty well. Essentially, what I did is I just, you know, I sat there with a pen and paper one day, like around this point, about November, like, of last year. So about 4 to 5 months ago now, and I literally just sat there and I just sort of brainstormed. I'm like, what do my audience actually want? What did they originally subscribe for? Like, all 400,000 of these people, what did they subscribe for? And the answer was pretty simple. The answer was pretty obvious. It was right in front of my eyes the whole time. It was the original commentary stuff. And since that point in 2020, I knew for a fact that I could easily upload daily videos and push my monthly views back up to where they were, but I just decided for some reason not to. I was too scared to do it. I was too scared to experiment, even though I'd changed topics on this channel so many different times, and essentially just like ruined my entire channel at that point. So I decided, you know what, this is gonna be the last time that I pivot, and I decided to pivot once more in literally like 5 months ago. As you can see, is literally this point here. So my first video of like this new commentary style was this Bella the Wolf video. I decided to implement this like split screen formula, and I decided to experiment a little bit to just like see what worked. But essentially I did a couple of videos, and you know, they were getting under 10k here, but a couple of these videos started to do really well. And what you do at that point is, you know, what I've learned over the last 7 years is once you find a formula that works, go for it. Just absolutely go for it. So I found this little split screen thing from like one of my friends, Nguyen, where essentially you have the content on the left and then like a little white background on the right with some text. I started to do that, and again, some of these videos didn't really do well, but in the long term, like, I stuck at it. I gave myself a bi-daily upload schedule, meaning I upload once every couple of days. And as you can see here, some of these videos started to do really well. And in December, I had a huge month. You know, I spent Christmas like sitting back pretty happily, because I was essentially going from making $300 on this channel a month to now like a few thousand, which is, you know, way better than it was. I pretty much revived the channel, and to this day, I've now managed to get to a point where I'm now outsourcing a lot of the operations on my channel. I've hired one of the best strategists and managers on this channel, and pretty much like this guy's worked with channels with tens of millions of subscribers, and we're gonna scale this channel to make like 5 figures a month on its own, which is gonna be absolutely insane. And yeah, here we are to this day. Like, the channel's doing insanely well, getting over 1 million views a month, and I'm really happy with where we're at, and I can't wait to scale this in the future. It's gonna be so good, and I'm gonna show you guys exactly how I'm doing it. So yeah, look, if you're a small channel right now and you want to know exactly how I pretty much did this, I cover all of this if you click the link in the description, rickyyoutube.com. You can literally work one-on-one with me. I'll research your entire channel, and I'll research your competitors, everything like that. I've done it for a few people before, and I mean, you guys can see the testimonials for yourself on that website. The people that have worked with me absolutely love it, and they're already getting results. So look, I'd highly recommend clicking the link in the description. So yeah, if you learned something from this video, click this video on screen right now, because YouTube thinks you can probably learn something from it. And yeah, I'll see you all over there. Subscribe.